How's it going, everybody? In today's video, I'm going to show you a free CAD software you can find online at tinkercad.com. So what I'm basically going to do is just kind of go throughout the basics, the basic functions, and show you a little bit of how you're able to create 3D objects. And hopefully this will get you a little bit more familiar with it to be able to start doing your own kind of things. So what we got here, I'm going to pull out this cube right here. And if you hold shift while you drag this, it's going ahead and it's going to scale it for you. And what that does is keeps it scaled appropriately without skewing the object. And so what you see right here, 4-point corners of the 3D model. So what you see right here is going to be the length of this side, which is going to be this side. Length of this side is going to be 40 millimeters. Length of this side is going to be 40 millimeters. And so you can click and drag those around and play around with them, and that's what will change the dimensions and the size of the 3D object you're looking at. Down here, you're going to see something which is called a snap grid. And what that basically does is it moves the points in incremental values based on what you see here in the plane. So right here, we have the snap grid for 1 millimeter. And so when you bring this down here, you'll see that it's only moving 1 millimeter at a time. So if you take this, put it in half, it's going to move half a millimeter each time. So what that does is give you a little bit more accuracy on how you're trying to, design your objects and things of that nature. So that's what we have here. Okay, so let me show you something else. Right here up top, we're going to have the work plane tool. And what that allows you to do is work off of the plane that you're able to see on an object. So as you see here, I click the work plane and I'm clicking on top of this face right here of this object. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color of this first. And so what you're going to see when I press the key letter D, it is going to place the bottom of this cube with respect to the plane that's above here. So as I press D right here, it has now moved it to the plane in which I chose. So now I have an object which I can place on top right here. So like that. Now I have two stacked items, and what you can do is just click work plane again. Just click it back on the bottom, and that'll reset it back to the original point. Another thing I'm going to show y'all is how you can align objects. What you do is you'll click on this shape right here, but you'll also hold the shift button and click on the other object. So now at this point you have both objects highlighted and selected. And what you're going to do is press the keyboard letter L, which is going to open up the align options. And it's going to give you several options. So right here, you can see it wants to align it along this edge with the other object. As you see, it's highlighting it, wants to move it over. Right here in the middle, it wants to keep it centered. And like from over here on this choice, this option, it wants to align the orange object on the right hand side. So if I click this middle one, and this middle one, what it's going to do is center it exactly in the middle of the red object. And if I click, let's see, if I click this one, the topmost one, it is going to level these two planes along the same height. So that's what that does. So let's do something else here. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to, now that the work plane has been reset, I'm going to hit D, and that's going to drop the red object to the floor. And what we're going to do is make a hole inside of this red model. What we're going to do is a Boolean operation. So in order to do that, we're going to click on the orange object. We're going to click right here. And we're going to change it to a hole. Anytime you see a shape that is translucent and clear like this, that means you're able to create a hole with it. And so I'm going to click this one, the orange shape or the clear shape now, and the red shape. I'm going to click them both together, and we're going to go ahead and group them together. Let's see. Got to make sure it travels through the entire thing. Okay, there we go. We're going to group these two together, and what that does is creates a hole within the shape. And so that's how you basically create holes. And what you can also do is, if you'd like to turn that into a solid object and unify the two, you can create a group again. And now you just have a one solid object just from grouping these two shapes together.